Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel Cloud Journey. In this video, we'll cover essential Docker commands from creating containers, managing volumes and network to work with image and see how Docker simplifies software deployment. I am running Docker on WSL with Docker Desktop. All commands will work same on Linux, Mac OS with Docker Engine installed. So I will show you almost 50 plus Docker commands. So let's begin the demo. So first we'll type the command docker dash dash version. So it will display the Docker version 28.1.4. Now if you give the command docker system info, so it will display the system information like uh, architecture and total memory, uh, the name of the Docker desktop and the OS type is Linux. Now we'll see the next command uh, docker. Suppose we want to create container. So we give docker container create and we give httpd. So this will create the container. Now we'll start this container. So give the command docker container start and give the container ID. So we can see whether it's running or not by the command docker container ls dash a. So you can see it's up 12 seconds ago and its name is and its image is httpd. Now uh, let's combine these two commands together. So instead of running one by one, now we combine this command. So if we give the command like docker container run dash itd dash dash vm and give the name Apache server dash server and the HTTP. So here I in interactive mode, T for terminal and D for data abstract. So if you run this command, so you can see again you will become on a docker container ls dash a. So you can see 11 second ago it's up. You can use another command like docker container ps to see all the running container, and you can also use docker container ls dash a. So I will clear the screen. You can see the image by the command docker images. With the command docker image. And here you can see I will got nothing. Now we'll see some other command. So I've already show you how to create a container, docker container ls. So basically this command what it will show see all the we can see all the running container. Here you can see, and if you want to see all the running and stop container, you can use docker container ls dash a. So this command will show all the up and stop container. Now we'll see some other commands. So how we can go inside the container. So first we'll create a container, Docker container run. Suppose I use IPD dash dash name. I will give the name of the container test and provide the list center colon 7. So press enter. Now we we want to go inside the container. So for the command for the Docker container execute dash IT and give the container name what we provided test and give slash bin slash bash. So press enter. So now we are inside the container. So let's exit. Now we'll see how we can inspect the container. Suppose we have the test container. So Docker container give the command inspect and give the container name or container ID whatever it is. So if I give paste and press enter. So in this way you can inspect the container. Here you can see like email status is running and process ID, host email path. So now here we see. Now we'll see the next command how we can copy files from our Docker host to Docker container. So for this, suppose I will create file here, name it echo. Okay, I'm creating file first. Hello, on my Docker host, I'm creating file. Hello from Docker host. Docker host, and I will redirect it to some file. I will provide the file path var slash 10 slash test file. I will test file. Now we'll paste it. Now we'll copy this file to our container which we have created. So with the command docker container cp provide the source. I will copy this one and give the container name. Like I am using the container test which we have created and provide the path. I want to copy this to the root directory class root. Now press enter. So you can see successfully copied. Now we'll get this that will go inside the container docker container secure tab it slash slash okay container now container container now we select to slash root with test test solution created. Test file and press enter. See, it gets copied here. Hello from Docker. So now we'll remove from this container. Now we'll see how we can rename our Docker container. So the command for this is Docker container rename and with the space, and I want to give the new name demo. Press enter. So it becomes Docker container index dash a. So here you can see an index change with my demo. Earlier it was test, now change to demo. Now we can see this command how we can delete a container. So before deleting, we have to stop the container. So use the command docker container stop. Suppose we want to stop this container. So Apache server. So we take the name or ID. So now we remove the container. It simply RS. So if we check the container gets deleted. Now we'll see different scenarios of container. Suppose first I will clear this screen. Suppose I have create a container docker container run test itd test name 20. I will give it name case1 and so add this to the PD. So what will do, it will create a container and expose the container which is on port 80. So this container cannot be accessible from outside. So let's run it. So if we go to software container, so let's start. So you can see it is colon port 80. Now we'll see the case 2. So software I will not have it will take time. Quickly I will change the case 2 and here I will provide task key. Task capital key. So a random port value will which is it will provide. So this is random port on the Docker host which is mapped with the container port. So let's first run the command. So it will provide a random port. Now we'll see. So here it will provide 82769 container case 2. So if we so this one is accessible from outside from the browser. So if we click I've already uploaded a video regarding Docker different scenario of code how we can map local host colon 33760. So here you can see it works. Now we'll see our first scenario of Docker. Docker container run tab itd tab.py. Now we provide the name case 3 and here we provide if not and give anything like LVDTP and provide the container code. So in production environment, we prefer using small c. So 82 is a static host port and 80 is the container port. Now we'll put enter. So you can see if we do carry this one also. And to put 52. So enter 2 is not 4. You can check in also the order. Now I'll clear this field and see some more commands related to Docker container. So if we want to list all the container ID, so what command will be? So with Docker container ls sq and in bracket list Docker container tab. So this command will list the container ID. Press enter. Now we see another command Docker. So if you want to stop all the running containers at once, so we'll give Docker container stop and write it on close and give Docker container ls sq. Now close it. So it will stop all the running containers. Press enter. So now we want to remove all the both running and remove all the containers, both running and stop. So give the command Docker container rm dollar Docker container as AQ. So it will remove all the containers, both running and stop. So if you can do Docker container stack is so all the containers will be removed. You can also use the command Docker container same. So now we'll move to another command like we'll see some networking command. So first I'll clear this view. Now if you want to see Docker network, so by default each network is here. So all these networks we have. Now if we want to inspect any network, so with the command Docker network and with the command inspect. and if the network name or network ID. Suppose I will use this network ID. Press enter. So in this way you can enter this network subnet name bridge ID. Driver is bridge and create this tree. Now we can see how we can create our any custom network. So give the command like network create dashboard driver sample and using the driver bridge and dashboard subnet equal to 150 dot 168 dot 10 dot 1 dash 22 equal gaming or post under signature. So this is one of the first time I have used first time to create having our test network. So our test network is created. We can set first time to Docker network. So here test network right now which we have created, and if you want to test Docker network inspect with the network name. So here you can see subnet which we have provided, name test network ID, driver bridge. Now we see some more command. So if we want to run attach a container to our network, so keep the command of container run dash itd dash name equal to give the container name test one and provide the network which we have created now dash net equal to test network test underscore network, and I will use Linux center. So in this way we will create a container and attach to a network, custom network which we have created. So this gets attached if we do Docker container ls stack a. So you can see it's up, and secondary container ID name stationary. Now we'll create another container and give the name test2 in the same network. With the container name test2 and press enter. Now it's going to see our network. So test2 container gets created. Now we'll ping, so with the command docker execute tag IP, and we'll ping the container 1 and container 2, test2 container test2. So you can see they are pinging each other, like, because they are only both on the same network, which we created, like only test network. Now we'll start this. Now we'll keep an volume command. I'll clear the screen. So if you want to see docker volume and so while volume is being created, if you don't have any volume, you can do anything. So we want to do, so I want we see how we can create a volume. Docker system and docker volume create rename demo underscore demo. So our volume gets created. So we can check docker volume ls the local demo volume which we created now. And if you want to inspect the volume, if the command docker volume inspector and get the command demo volume is not inspected. So we have created this time driver and a local and the home point where leave docker slash volume slash table underscore down and slash data. Now we'll clear the screen and go command related to volume. So now we'll create a container and attach the volume to it. So see the command start the demo. Okay, now we'll see how to create container attached to volume. Docker container run as identity as name and give the container name test and update it test and give the volume B and give the volume which we created one demo and now will be the color and white flag and the color and the numerally center column 7. So basically, this will create a container name test and volume which we have created demo bot, and it will mount the at the slash summary at the directory slash summary. So now we'll press enter. So if you can check Docker execute tab item paste in the container tab, we will pin flag tab to inside container and to check whether it's mounted or not with the continuous icon. Like type and date that and the volume is counted with the directory the path is required flag. So now we'll enter some data here. Just click to the value table and the directory and with ABC. Now we will put hello again with new presenter. I will put from and we create the container Docker container start test. Basically, we are checking for the extent nature of the volume. Okay. Docker container image test. Now I will create another container. Name it test 2. And press enter. Just to remember. Okay. Quickly test 2. I will create that container. After type IP with the container test 3 and flag bin flag path. Now the enough flag. Just hit the select I will do it by 1 second. First I will remove all the container. After container erased in distributed after container remove other containers. Page 2. I think I'm using with the WSL, that's why it's not able to find the file. After container stop test 3. Let's see some other command. So we create container using the mount option. We create the container and we will use the mount option. Like earlier, we have used the dash p option. So that dash p option got deprecated. So we'll use new option. Upper container run dash itd dash name equal to and git test again. Test again, and we will give a mount, and we'll give the command test. Test then all which we created for and the destination destination control slash manage center 7. So here we creating container name test again, and in the option mount and with the volume geo creator and destination. So I will press enter. One step now press enter. So you can see state created, and if you do proper container proper it as ID with the container name to study and inside I can be left that reading left and and see here you can see the file which we created that last time, uh, ABC and DF, and we have deleted the volume, not volume, like we have deleted the container, and we are checking the persistent nature of the container. So even the container gets deleted, data is still there, ABC and DF. So that's why I created this file again. Now we will stop the container of the container. So if you are using WSL or Docker on like Docker textbook, so you can check in this way. Like you can create first you create one container, and after that you put some data there, and you can delete the container, and again you can create some different container like test again I have created, and check the persistence nature of the container. Docker container stop, and we click on the test again. Only remove it. So now we'll see some more commands of volume. First I'm here, click new. So volume by default mounted in read write mode. So if we create, suppose you docker volume and so your volume data volume are created earlier. Now we create the container. Docker container run tab itd tab of name equal to volume rw and we read write mode. Like the name I'm giving for understanding purpose. In a name equal to. So I told earlier like volume by default wanted in read write mode. And so once it's created tab mount and with the source equal to and use this volume data point and now provide the destination equal to slash and install and then so if we inspect this if we inspect the container which we created now docker container inspect and keep the container name press enter. So here you can see I'm showing see here this part read write by default it's true. Is not. So volume by default mounted in read and write mode. Now here this true and if we want to create read only mode. So say change suppose I will create a container name read only root ro and so since this I will data volume destination here we have to change destination after coming and I will provide read only equal to true. I press enter. So if we again inspect the container docker container inspect and hit the command and the command like container name and you can go up see here it's get pause so I will choose this screen and I will start Continue. Now we'll see some image command. It's basic one, but we'll see. So if you do docker image ls, you can show all the image here. Now if you want to run docker run monthly colon latest, like I will be tag latest. Everything here. So to download the latest image, we use the command docker full image, docker image, and docker image full HTTP. And you can see the command docker image list here. So one more command will be like if you do the command docker system here. So it will show the actual size of three different objects that are managed by Docker, such as image, volumes, and if you want to remove an image, Docker image rm, like you can say delete it. And if you want to see history of any image, you can command Docker image history engines. Okay, it is for the history. And if you want to see some architecture and the .os page, with the command okay, and the command line. So that's all from this video. We have seen many commands you can practice, and we'll upload more commands, more advanced commands related to Docker. So that's all from this video. See you in the next video.